Evaluate 250 plus 25 plus 2.5 plus 0.25 plus 0.025 and all that divided by 50 plus 5 plus 0.5 plus 0.05 plus 0.005 math counts. Now, let's make this a little simpler, or at least hopefully we'll make this a little simpler. Writing this as a fraction, so make this a little shorter, and writing this as a fraction is a lot like changing a paragraph, or just changing an entire story that's written on one entire line and changing that into little itty-bitty lines that you just find on your line paper. So let's do that, or at least do the same thing as the idea, but you know what I mean. Let's not get too literal here. Right, this is a fractional, so I can figure out about these little parentheses that kind of make the whole thing a little longer. Just a teeny bit longer, just a teeny bit shorter. $50 plus 5 plus 0.5. How long are we going to be here? Okay, now that we got that, okay, this is not as good as I hoped it would be. This is still very confusing, so I guess my idea that this should be a little easier to think about and clear our minds a little bit, guess that wasn't too useful. And now I know what you want. You say that this is very confusing and you want all the confusing stuff in here to go away. Of course, it's just decimals, really long additions, all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, we got fractions. We want to get rid of some of this confusing stuff in this fractional. Really, the only way to get rid of stuff in fractions is to cancel that stuff. This stuff you don't want. But since we have addition in the numerator and addition in the denominator, we can't cancel whatever stuff we don't want. Because you can only cancel with multiplications, unless the relationships between all our numbers, that they're all multiplication. So how are we supposed to get multiplication here? Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, and the first thing that should come to your mind, is factoring. It's like the simplest, the most obvious thing to do when you want to get multiplication into a place where you want it. So you see basically the lesson we learned, right there when you see that we can even use something as simple and as obvious as factoring into such a hard problem that comes from MathCounts. We just learned that no matter how far you are into math, whether you're studying, AMI, MathCounts, AMC, or even just algebra, you still need, and you need to use the basics. It's just like trying to do any other thing. If you're really, really good at doing any other sort of thing you like to do, what's the point of being super, super good at doing that other thing, if you don't even know how to do it? You still need to know the basics. Wait, does that even make any sense? I don't think so, but you know what I mean. So anyways, now there's still more to this problem, because you see, now that we know, we should factor, we definitely should factor. But now that we know that we should factor, and then, we need to think deeper, because when you get really, really good at math, you need to think really deeply, trying to make us use as less time as possible, be as efficient as possible, be as fast as you can, make as less mistakes as possible, basically. Anything you can to make yourself better or creative. So really, basically you want to turn an easy problem into you want to turn an easy problem into an even easier problem, because Right now, this problem is a very easy problem to us now because we already know that we need a factor, what we want to factor, what we need to factor. So we could just factor 25 out of the top, a 5 out of the bottom, get our answer, and next problem. And then we do the next problem. But not me. We want to make this easier. So what we're going to do is we're just going to factor a 5 out of the top. And if you saw that, that means you can see that after we factor a 5 out of the top, I'll get 5 times 50 plus 5. I think you see where this is going. Plus 0.5 plus 0.0.5 plus 0.005. And then we have 50 plus 5 plus 0.5 plus 0.05 plus 0.005. Sure enough, like you should have saw these go away. You also could have just multiplied this by 1 really fast just to be a little bit fancy and a little, makes yourself feel a little better. So you see, after you solve this problem, doesn't it? Anyways, that should go away, so it's not really such a big deal writing in parentheses. That's gonna go away anyways. So you see, doesn't it feel nice to like have such big cancellations and like do a really hard problem? And then when this problem is really hard, you get to this kind of really complicated thing, and then like there's a really hidden situation. Find it even like better situations. Although doesn't that just feel good? 5 over 1 is 5. So 2 lessons learned. Probably know what those two are. If you don't, well, let's let you figure out what they are.